Hello, my friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying their day. As always, I just published a Patreon market update. And if you want to join and read it, the link to that is here to my Patreon. Again, if you're here, please kindly say hello. Don't be shy. Uh, currently, currently, XRP is sitting at $1.36, and Bitcoin nearly reclaimed $77,000. Uh, and for the first time since 2010, the month of August has turned green instead of red during the accumulation zone in a year that followed a macro top. Anyway, I've shared my thoughts on Patreon, and I'll be sharing another Patreon market update tomorrow, and a day after that, to make sure that basically everybody's updated on a daily basis, because this is important. As I've said already, when we're at like $57,000 Bitcoin, it's time to be active, guys, right? It's not time to be bored. It's not time to be out of crypto, lose interest. It's time to be active. It's time to start buying a dollar cost averaging after big crashes and at new lows, preferably with equal amounts of money. So let's talk about something. If you've been on Patreon, you know exactly what I'm referring to. We've been following this Bitcoin bottoming chart since $110,000 Bitcoin, $108,000 Bitcoin, something like that, for like 8 or 9 months now. And it's been playing out very well. The last thing that we're looking at, it was to see whether or not Bitcoin makes a lower low. It did do that. It made a lower low at $57,000. And the only question that remained at the end was whether or not it will go deeper. Based on diminishing percentages and the diminishing percentage crashes in the past, Bitcoin must crash roughly 65% before finding a bottom, right? Because it's before that it was roughly 95, then 85, then 75, and now it should be roughly 65. They weren't exactly like those. I'm just rounding numbers here, but if we're to be precise, there were 93% crashes, 84% crashes, and 77% crashes, roughly 10% smaller every single time, give or take. So this time around, it would make sense for it to crash 65%. That being said, as I reiterated, every single time Bitcoin crashes 50%, and in this specific market cycle, 50% to 65% crash in that zone, it's time to start dollar cost averaging. That's exactly what we have done, right? We have been 50% in the market, meaning that we allocated on my Patreon group 50% of our budget into the market, main plays being Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. Right now, we can talk about these things more precisely since it's already happened, and members will not be upset that we're basically disclosing these things because it's already happened, so it's history. So what am I going to do now? Right, since based on this basically bottoming structure, it's very possible that the bottom is in. Right, I just published an update talking about it. The chart is there. Once again, there's a link. Press on it if you want to see the chart I'm talking about. And if you remember, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So right now, if Bitcoin starts, retracing and going sideways, and then eventually in the coming months takes off out of this certain zone that we've been talking about, then this bottoming structure worked out for the third time, and it worked out twice before. Right, that's if the bottom is in then. But we cannot know with 100% certainty whether or not it's in. So the only way for that to happen, to have 100% certainty or almost 100% certainty, is if this fractal keeps working out and this bottoming structure, this bottoming structure keeps working out, and Q4 of this year comes and goes, and that's that. So if Q4 of this year comes and goes and we do not get the 65% crash, so another 10%, because we already crashed 55%, then the bottom is in. We will not know until that Q4 is over, right? Because we know that so far, ever since 2010, during Q4 of the year that followed a macro top in accumulation zone, we always got a crash. We always had a crash somewhere in Q4. So even if it's not a crash that takes out, it makes new lows, which it should. That's what happened every single time. There should still be some kind of a pullback. So what am I doing? What I'm doing is quite simple. So what am I doing, right? I'll be adding another 10 to 15% once we get a pullback, and leaving the other like 40 to 35% on the side still to see what happens in Q4. Because once again, based on roughly 4-year cycles, based on percentages and diminishing returns and diminishing crashes, Bitcoin should crash roughly 65%. That being said, again, we should not obsess over tops and bottoms. We did not sell the exact top. We did not sell at $126,000 Bitcoin. We sold at roughly $110,000, $108,000 Bitcoin, 90% of our portfolio. And the same goes for now, right? We bought all the coins currently at local bottoms, but we don't know whether or not it's the bottom yet. So what I'm doing right now, I'm holding my 50%. Every single entry is in profit. Portfolio is in profit. We follow what we've been doing all these market cycles before, right? Wait for a big crash, dollar cost average at new lows, preferably with equal amounts of money, diversify, and hold until the market cycle works out and the coins are up a lot. That's my approach. What I'll be doing, like I said, I'll be adding another 10 to 15% in case the bottom is in and holding, and I'll be keeping another like 35% on the side in case the bottom is not in. Once again, we need Q4 to come and go to know with certainty whether or not the bottom is in. Based on several factors that we've discussed before and this bottom structure, it is possible that it's in. But we don't know with certainty. If anybody's telling you that they know with certainty, well, I would say that's a lie, because like I said, anybody out there, I've been following all content creators or YouTubers, all people on X, everybody gets something wrong eventually, and they get it wrong a lot. So there's no certainty for sure. Since nobody knows, right? Since nobody knows, what you do is the approach that we'll be using for a very long time. Wait for a crash, buy dollar cost average, diversify, hold, and wait for market to reverse and start going up. Sell for a good profit, get rid of price targets, take what the market gives you. Those are the rules, right? Anyway, let's see what people are saying. Peter, hi there. Marksy, hello. Bullet Demir, hi there. Good to see you guys. Zeus, thank you very much for that kind message. Matthew says, hey, Rob, hope you're doing well. It's a great day for crypto. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day. Like 50% of what we allocated of our accumulation budget is in profit. Everything's in profit. That's wonderful. But you know me, I like to stay level-headed. I don't get excited. I literally have zero excitement. Let's see what happens in the coming months and how this month closes and how this year ends, right? If this year ends, and like I said, the chart we've been studying keeps playing out, and there's no roughly 65% drop, then the bottom is in. But we need Q4 to come and go to know with certainty. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, just in case it isn't, allocate another 10 to 15% in new altcoins, diversify some more, and then leave roughly 40 to 35% on the side in case the bottom is not in. Yeah, and then in the future, with that 35%, I will still be able to either swing trade or use that to buy more Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP. I'll basically see which one is up more and which one has better ROI. Adrian, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining. Paul, good to see you too. Thank you for joining, brother. Hope everything is okay in the UK. International Crypto Asset Ninja, good to see you here, brother. Vasil Igorgio, hello. He's saying, you said the price would go down and that it's a 4-year cycle with the lowest level in October, etc. So what I said was that it is so far roughly 4-year cycle until it stops working out. Eventually it will stop working out. And October, I'm not sure that I referred to October. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but yes, let's see, so far, it's a roughly 4-year cycle until it stops working, right? We called the top the last 3 times based on the roughly 4-year cycle and diminishing returns and percentage crashes and all that. I don't know, let's see, like if you're trying to say that my accuracy has been bad, well, please keep in mind that once again, we sold 90%. Nobody's done that I don't know of. Some people sold 50% of their portfolio and whatnot. Some took profits, but we sold 90%, at roughly $108,000 Bitcoin. And then we waited for the crash. And don't forget that we literally allocated 50% of our accumulation budget into coins that are up a lot after big crashes. And the targets that, once again, people were just saying like 7-8 months ago, they're not going to happen, that we haven't topped, right? So if you're trying to call me out as in like I have bad accuracy, Vasil, I would beg to differ. And once again, perfection is lying in these markets, right? I keep saying rough estimates is good enough. You're not going to see perfection anywhere. And if you think you will, well, good luck, because even if somebody gets something right a few times, you eventually get so wrecked that you're going to start hating that person. That's what's happened to a lot of influencers and YouTubers in the past, right? Since there are people out there, for example, in the last cycle who are calling for a top at 30K, 40K, 50K, 70K, and Bitcoin kept going up and up and up. And then when they got it right, let's say at like 120K, they got new fans, but the old fans hate them because they basically exited the market much earlier than they should have. Or other YouTubers, who kept saying that old season is about to come and didn't sell anything at all, and now all these coins are down drastically. So just be careful. Basically, there is no perfection. I kept saying that. I think I'm one of the most realistic people in this business, in crypto, right? And once again, I keep saying that you should not obsess over tops and bottoms. You should just simply forget about tops and bottoms. You should just wait for a big crash and buy and dollar cost average, sit in your hands, and then sell for whatever the market gives you years down the road. This is a strategy, the only strategy that has been working very well throughout all market cycles, because I don't know of any other one that has worked effectively, and I've studied absolutely all of them, right? Once again, you want precision and perfection. This is definitely not the place. This is the place where we do well. Buy low, sell high, preferably buy lower, sell higher. Not buy the bottom, sell the top. That's not about me. Let's see. Trouble is saying, okay, thanks for the update. Let's see what Q4 brings. Also, Trouble says, are there any other interesting coins for Patreon subscribers? Yes, absolutely, Trouble. Like I said, I've already added other coins in the $99 tier besides XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, which are my main plays this market cycle. These will be my biggest and heaviest bags. So I believe that number one thing is to accumulate those bags. And then after that, you can have a smaller portion of other altcoins, which are less likely to deliver, but still can deliver. And the ones that will, they will deliver well. But also, once again, you only do that, in my opinion, if you've already allocated a big portion of your portfolio in Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP, right? That's my personal take on it. For the reasons I've explained many times before, since these coins, they've always done something in every single market cycle and been the best performing blue chip coins. Even in the last cycle, which was the worst cycle we've ever had in crypto, they were still the best performance, right? And even the coins that did not make new all-time highs still outperformed many other coins. Once again, don't forget, with every single market cycle, more and more altcoins die. Sure, some altcoins will deliver and some altcoins will outperform what I call the holy trinity, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Sure, there will be altcoins that will outperform them, and I'll probably buy some of these coins that will outperform them, and I'll be sharing them on Patreon. But once again, you'll buy some other coins that will not outperform them. So the most solid thing you can do in crypto is buy this holy trinity and hold it and accumulate, right? Even when Bitcoin reclaims 100K and 120K, you can still buy Bitcoin as long as you're realistic about your profit expectations, about your ROI, right? If you're buying Bitcoin, like I believe I already said this many times, that Bitcoin is going to make a new all-time high. Eventually, in the coming years, it has done so in nearly the last 2 decades without fail. So I don't see why this time needs to be different. People always say it's not going to make a new all-time high. It keeps making a new all-time high. So my point is this: even when it makes a new all-time high, let's say it hits 130K, you can still buy as long as you have realistic expectations. What I mean by that, if you're willing to take profits, for example, and get out of the market, let's say at 160 or 180 or 200K, depending on the circumstances, then you can buy. But if you're buying at 130K and expecting it to go to like 500,000, you should not be buying, because this market cycle, Bitcoin will not be going to 500,000. If that happens, it will break absolutely all trends, percentage trends, and everything that has happened in the past, right? It would be something completely out of the blue, something completely new, something that cannot be tracked by anyone. And yeah, so it would have nothing to do with technical analysis, basically. That's my point. Anyway, yeah, here's my update, right? So in terms of the bottom, is the bottom in? Nobody knows, including me for sure. It's possible that it's in. But it doesn't matter what people say, right? It's about what you do, what matters. I keep saying this, right? It doesn't, don't listen to people about what they're saying. Look at what they're doing, right? And what I'm doing, like I said, I'm holding the 50% that has been put into the market. I'm holding it. Everything's in profit. And once there's a pullback, I'll be putting in another 10 to 15% of my budget into the market. So I'll be roughly 60 to 65% in the market, and the remaining will be sidelined until Q4 is over. And during Q4, if there's a crash, it will be allocated into these coins to dollar cost average warrant. And if there's no crash, and we don't get the roughly 65% crash from the top of 126K, then I'll be using it to swing trade, probably primarily Bitcoin, or I'll be using it to buy more XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, regardless of the price, and some other altcoins which I think will be that are promising. We'll see. Once again, like I said, don't expect perfection from anyone, my friends. Once again, if you're listening to somebody who's saying that the bottom is definitely in, remember that they messed up the bottom definitely being in several times before, or the top being in several times before. Remember, that messed up a lot of things, right? So if somebody's talking in absolutes out there, I know it's exciting, I know it's entertaining, but also remember, excuse my French, that is also that the person is full of shit, basically, right? So you should keep record of their track record. So just be aware of the stuff. I know there's going to be a lot of exciting rockets and moon boys who've been saying, I called the bottom, I did this and that. I know it's very exciting, but just remember that they called the bottom 50 times, So if you get it right on the 51st time, it doesn't really count. And, same thing, when we reverse, we're going to be pumping. People are going to tell you that they called the top, but once again, if you call for a top 4 or 5 times and you get it right on a fifth time or a sixth time, you didn't really call the top, right? It's like your action is not very good. So just don't seek perfection, seek profits, right? Don't seek to buy the bottom. Just strive to buy low and preferably lower, and don't try to sell the top in the coming year. Just sell high and preferably higher, and that's it. That's it, right? That's all that's necessary in these markets. Be realistic. Be in control of your emotions. Like I said, I feel zero FOMO. I feel zero excitement. I literally feel nothing. Maybe because this is already my 4th market cycle, and like I'm a crypto veteran. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Whatever it is, but yeah, that's that. Yeah, congrats to everybody on Patreon who's been buying along with me. Everything's in profit. Everything's in decent profit since the bounce only started. Yeah, and that's that. Wesley's saying, to be fair, BCB's forecasts have been the most accurate this market cycle, both in terms of peaks and torros. No, they have not. They have not. All the best to BCB, but I've already blocked him, and I don't listen to anything he says for numerous reasons. Same as all other TA guys. I don't listen to what he says. If he was very accurate, well, like I said, according to him, the top was supposed to be, I believe, at 38K, and then we're supposed to drop to 3K. I know this because people kept coming to me and saying, this is the case, what do you think? I kept saying that's not going to happen. That is going to go to roughly 120K, maybe 150K. Just shared the chart there on Twitter that the top will probably come in October 2025 at roughly $126,000. I'm going to share that chart many times based on the 4-year cycle and diminishing returns and all that. That's the only chart I know of that was very specific. So if he's called something good, that's good. If you're following blockchain backer, that's good. That's your choice. For me personally, there's nobody out there that I think is good enough. That's it. So just remember, when we talked about blockchain backer, he called the top several times, then got it right. And if we're talking about anybody else out there, right, like including me, guys, including me, we've made mistakes, right? So the only way you can do well in these markets, if you're not out there waiting for the exact bottom and not out there waiting for the exact top, right? Like for example, in regards to blockchain backer, I have no idea what he's saying right now because I've blocked that guy. I don't want the reason why I blocked him. I wish him all the best and his followers all the best. Like I wish everybody all the best. I just don't want his TA meddling with mine, right? So that's it. Before I would study what everybody says to see whether or not I can learn something. I've understood that I cannot learn anything. That everybody gets some things right, some things wrong. That everybody makes major mistakes. So I just don't want anybody meddling with what I have to say. Okay, but fair enough. Fair enough. That's good. I wish him all the best and his followers all the best. And looks like you should be listening to him then, not me. Yeah, I wish you all the best. And I'm very happy to hear that he's been doing good this cycle. Well, that's good. That means that he's improving, and that is fantastic. That is very good. So yeah, my friends, just remember, don't expect perfection from anybody. Don't expect remember another statistic. This is a statistical fact that I kept track of, right? when I was trying to learn to see whether or not I could have an edge in the markets and whatnot, that 95% of price targets, including mine, have failed, right? So you name any price prediction out there, it's usually failed. It never came true, right? So roughly 5% accuracy rate when it comes to price predictions. So just be aware of this market cycle when people are talking about price targets and how high a certain coin will go, XRP, Bitcoin, you name it. Remember that the accuracy rate is 95% off, right? It's 5%. Just whoever you're listening to, including me. That's why I keep saying get rid of price targets, buy after big crashes, buy and dollar cost average at new lows, preferably with equal amounts of money. I know that not everybody can do it with equal amounts of money because sometimes people allocate whatever they can allocate. That's also fine, of course. I understand, there's a thing called reality. You just sit on your hands and you wait for the market to reverse. You wait for it to pump for several years. You take profits. You take whatever the market gives you, right? So another rule that I kept talking about, if you have a price target, always a great way to take profits is divided by 2 or 3, right? So let's say, for example, if you expect certain coin to reach $100, divided by 3. There you go. So roughly 33. Now $33, take profits there, take heavy profits, and then see if you can go to like 50 instead of 100 and selling it out there. Better to take profits early and get out than have potentially no profits whatsoever, right? Just remember that, guys. Don't get excited. Remain level-headed. And like, I guess that's pretty much the message that I want to share. In terms of bottoms and tops, I don't know. It's possible that the bottom is incorrect. It is possible. If it is in, then we bought the bottom. We bought the bottom with 50% of our accumulation budget. Remember that, if the bottom is in. TA-wise, like I said, based on the chart we've been following, the bottom is in basically. But based on percentages, which so far has been the most accurate thing in crypto, the bottom is not in. So we'll see what happens in Q4. Q4, once it comes and goes, will tell us whether or not the bottom is in. It's as simple as that. Vasil Georgo says, I have paid a subscription to you, not to him. Cheers, brother. I'm glad to have you with me. And yeah, it's good to have you. I'm glad that you're with me. Just like in the past cycles, I will try to do my best to make sure that we do well. I promise you that I will do my very best. In the last cycle, even in the last cycle, when basically it was the most disappointing cycle, and most alts did nothing, and basically all price predictions pretty much failed. Like I said, 95%. Even then, I sold 90% of my portfolio. I explained everything. I was sending out explanations like a month before that, talking about gold skyrocketing, Ethereum doing nothing, and all these numerous other reasons, right? I got out, right? So I still believe we did very well in terms of what the market cycle delivered, right? Unfortunately, it was the worst one so far. Hopefully, this one will be different. So far, the trend that we see, though, is that ROI is diminishing, crashes are diminishing, so crashes are becoming smaller, returns are becoming smaller, and less alts are delivering. And unfortunately, that's the trend we see so far. But last cycle, everybody was saying that basically all season is going to happen, alts are going to pump, and nothing happened. And now everybody's saying that, not everybody, a lot of people are saying that altcoins are not going to do nothing, not going to do anything because they didn't do anything the last time. So maybe reverse psychology this time, they will actually do something. I think what's very important also, if I may point this out, please, I think it's very important to also look at what's happening right now in the market. So, right, let's say if you're heavily into one coin right now and it's not doing much, that's probably, like a red flag. You should probably be looking at coins that are doing well. So for example, I'm glad to see that Ethereum and XRP are amongst the biggest pumpers, right, during this bounce. So, let's say if you don't have Ethereum and XRP, I mean, why suffer, right? Like, if you ask me, why suffer and hold an old coin that's not doing much when you can just go buy Ethereum and XRP, right? So, my point is, if it's doing well now, it will probably be doing better than many other coins in the future too, when the market is obviously in a full-blown bull market. That's my point. And of course, it's still possible that your alt will catch up. But if we look at past trends, it's not a good idea to be very heavily in one altcoin and not diversify. Basically, diversification is important, right? Like I said before, I would diversify with max 10% into any coin, any given coin, even if it's Bitcoin. But this time I'm going 50% Bitcoin and 50% into different altcoins. But still, the heaviest bags are going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, because they have done something every single market cycle without fail, regardless of circumstances. Like, for example, take XRP. Even during the lawsuit, right? Even when it got delisted from the exchanges, it still was one of the best blue chip coins, right? It still did roughly the same ROI as Bitcoin. I mean, it got stolen. When everything was pumping, the XRP crashed like 72% because it got delisted from exchanges and hit by the lawsuit. But it still did better than most altcoins. Yes, there were altcoins that did better, of course, but if you look at the majority of altcoins out there, it still did better than many other altcoins. Yeah, so that's that. Zeus is saying, I think XRP will go up to 10, so maybe I should exit around 4. It seems a bit low, but maybe that's just me being greedy. Zeus, my personal take, once again, like I said, price targets fail 95% of the time, but I've been conservative on purpose to make sure that, like the more conservative you are, the more you're likely to be successful with your prediction, right? The crazier the price target is, the more likely it will fail. So based on diminishing percentages, based on what XRP has done every single cycle, we should pump roughly 650%. It can do 7, 8, and even 9x, right? But these are already like, more moonboy targets for me. So to raise my chances of success, roughly 650% from whatever the bottom is. So either the bottom was here at $1, or it will be in at roughly 75 cents or 80, 85 cents. We don't know for sure, right? Because the accumulation zone for XRP is 70 to 77% crash, right? 70 even to 80% crash. But I don't think it will have an 80% crash. It's already done 73% in terms of crash, and that's good enough. That's why we have accumulated, right? Once again, yeah. So depending on where the bottom is in, just take 650% from there, and you got your price target, right? That's what I think what XRP will do. That's that. Passport Poppy saying, why is everyone so excited about this recovery? Bitcoin is up 10%. It's not XRP itself that's rising. Prepare for a correction unless it's a sudden crash. Passport Poppy, I agree with you. Like I said, I feel zero excitement. I feel zero excitement. I mean, I bought heavily at the local bottom, and I feel zero excitement. Like I said, I don't know why. Maybe because like I'm a crypto veteran and I'm used to this, but I literally feel zero excitement. Let's just see what happens, right? If the bottom is in, we already bought the bottom, basically 50% of our accumulation budget, and we're still going to do well with the rest of our accumulation budget and have great entries and profit in the future. And if it's not in Q4, we're going to get new lows and allocate and dollar cost average, bring down on average to increase our ROI. Either way, it's going to be good. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be good as it's always been, and we'll take what the market cycle gives us, without seeking perfection, without trying to cash the bottom, without trying to sell the top, and all that, basically. All right, my friends, please kindly put a like. And thank you for joining. I appreciate your time. I'm currently on holiday, but that's why I haven't been as active. Like, before I went on holiday, I kept publishing updates on Patreon on a daily basis, and, I went live every other day. Now I'm on holiday. I'll be back in Dubai on the 26th. Or we'll see. Maybe I'll change the dates. Yeah, it depends. But I will try to be active either way, right? Because right now is an important time to be active. Just remember, guys, never FOMO, right? If you must buy on a red day, right? If you're experiencing FOMO, don't chase the pumps. Don't buy on a green day. Buy on a red day. And if you're a member, you should have no FOMO, because you should be 50% allocated, and your portfolio should be in profit, and you should be happy about that, right? That's that. Thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your wonderful questions, your commentary. Vasil, Zeus, Passport Puppy, thank you for what you have to say. And generally everybody, thank you for your time. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I promise I'll publish a market update tomorrow, and I'll do a live. It might be in the evening because I'm going hiking with my father-in-law. He loves going, he loves expeditioning, he loves nature. So he'll be taking me hiking. And, as a person that grew up in Switzerland and lived there for like 13 to 14 years of his life, I love hiking too. I love nature. I love the mountains. So I'm going to enjoy the fresh air. As much as I love Dubai, I really do love Dubai. The only thing that's kind of missing is like, mountains, nature, and fresh air. Other than that, it is amazing. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy some fresh air. Thank you very much. Um, um, let's see. Somebody just commented something else. Gears again, Taurus saying you're the best, Rob. I've been following you since 2017. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. And it's great to see an OG like you here. That's exactly when I started being public in 2017. So it's so awesome that, we've been doing this together for so long. Oh, Ismail Muhammad is here. He's saying, good to be back, bro. Miss you. Thank you for joining, Ismail. I appreciate it. Good to be, it's good. Like I said, just like a week or 2 weeks ago, I was saying that it's time to be active. Be active, guys. It's not the time to not be interested in crypto. If there's a huge correction, don't be down. Like this is where in accumulation zone, everything is fine. Eventually, the bear market will end. That's why, I tweeted on Twitter saying, let's like a petition to change bear market terminology to buyer's market. Right? There's no such thing as a bear market. It's a buyer's market. Bear markets exist so we can buy, and that's what we've been doing. And yeah, if there's a correction at the right price, we'll buy more. And if there's no correction, we'll sell for a great profit, right? And the swing trade at the same time. So everything's fine. Be positive, be active, be present, and just enjoy life. John Anderson is saying, thanks, Rob. I wish you all continued success. Enjoy the hike and the fresh air. It's soothing for your souls. Thank you very much. Thank you for the kind word. All right, guys. Bye-bye. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.